911, what's your emergency? 911, what's your emergency?
Be advised, Car 4 has control of the pursuit. Proceed with caution.
Hey, everybody. How are you doing? It's good to see all of you. I just was over at True Crime Web's live stream with Ruckus. They're over in Evansdale for the Memorial Ride for Lyric and Elizabeth. And so I had to catch it. I had to pop in. So I was over there, so I had to rush back over here. And I noticed I don't have my live light on. I don't have my hashtag light on. I'm just not got it together, guys. So Galen's running late, but she'll be here. And so is Nicholle. So we'll chat about some stuff until they arrive. But I am really super glad to see all of you for this very important live stream about Flora and Galen and her 4 beautiful girls. It's long overdue that we really start looking hard at this case and really covering it and giving it the time and the talk that it needs, because for Gaylin, this isn't an everyday thing for her. She lives this every single day, and you know that justice, as if it's important to us, it's as important to her, even more so. So she wants to know who did this and why this had to happen, obviously. Hey, Miranda, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hi, CJK. Great to see you. Hey, Deb. Thank you to all of my moderators for tuning in. Please work hard to keep riffraff out tonight. I'm hoping we don't have any, but I don't want any abuse coming Galen's way while she is on this live stream. Hey, Nana, it's okay. I'm so glad that you stopped in, and look forward to you catching our replay. Hey, Mark. Looking forward to having you live tonight. That is awesome. Hey, 63 Clocks. Always good to see you. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Jill. I hope you're feeling well. How are you doing? Hey, Jinx, my friend. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, Melissa. Thanks for coming in. Hi, Mary C. How are you? Good to see you guys. Hey, Boston. Welcome, welcome. Been a hot one here today, guys. I don't know about you. Hi, Mother of Dragons. How are you doing? Good to have you guys here. Hi, Metal Mama. Yes, justice for the precious Flora 4. Beautiful children. Absolutely. Hi, Rescue All the Dogs. Good to see you. Good to have you guys with me. Hey, Sleuth. How are you, my friend? Long time no see. It's so good to see you and have you here with me. Thank you for being here. Hi, Thistle. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Farmer. Yeah, absolutely. They don't have a choice. This follows them every day. Not sure I know who this is. Hi, Cindy. How are you? Hey, Mustang. Good to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, guys. Oh, Mark, it was fantastic. And the one that we had in April was really good too. Really good. And I'm sorry that you were out of the country and missed that one. But yeah, definitely look forward to the next one. Absolutely, Buck Gallatin. Absolutely. Yes, justice for Keyana, Keyara, Kerriele, and Kionnie. Good to see everybody. I'm just looking through the chat so that I don't miss anybody and trying to get caught up. I think I am now. I think I am caught up. So I was rushing around today to get here. I had family in from Scotland the last couple of days. And so that was kind of a rushy kind of a time and just some really good family time. And I knew I was doing the live stream tonight with Galen and stuff. And so I've been really looking forward to that, but I've been quite busy just trying to stay out there, guys, and stay active, spending a lot of time with my grandbabies and trying to see them while they're still out of school. School here starts on the 31st. So, and yeah, so it's just been a real busy summer. And I can't believe that we're already almost to the middle of July. This year has gone by so fast. There's so much going on in the true crime world. I don't know about you guys, but I was blown away last night when I was sitting at the bar and I was with my family and I grabbed my phone and I went to YouTube and I clicked on it, and the first thing that came up for me was that Alec Baldwin's trial was dismissed and with prejudice, and I was blown away because I had been watching all of that, and I thought it was quite interesting because of the Brady violation and the way the judge saw it, and I just thought it was interesting to follow because that's some of the things that the defense in the Delphi case has been talking about, you guys. So very interesting to watch and to see the defense take apart this prosecution, and these cops that knew that they had exculpatory evidence, and they went as far as taking that exculpatory evidence and filing it under a different case number so that it couldn't be found. I'm just like, whatever, crazy. Yes, Gail, I actually put the rubber tip on it myself as soon as it came. But no, I put it right on. It was absolutely fine. It fit mine just fine. I had no problems at all. Thank you so very much. And yeah, the fact that there was an assassination attempt at a Trump rally, I politically, I don't get into the political arena on YouTube simply because it's not worth it. But I am not for violence of any kind when it comes, and definitely not political violence. So that really upsets me. But I will say that he's brought it all on himself because he is absolutely for violence, and that's what he talks about. So I mean, I hate that, but it's terrible to witness and see what's going on. So my heart goes out to the man who was shot in the head and killed, his family, and to his family. So if you're out there and you're going to these rallies and you're going to, it doesn't matter what side you're on, be careful, guys, because there's crazy people out there. Hey, Frank, how are you? So good to see you. He's been a member of my channel now for 6 months. Awesome. Thanks a lot for your support of the channel. I appreciate you. That would make for a good live. It's odd what took place, in my opinion, because it was explained as not having evidentiary value. I believe he would have been convicted. I don't believe he would have been. I actually believe that he was the fall guy. I believe that they were looking for somebody to hang out to dry for this, and they chose the top guy, basically the person who was the most well-known in the world, which was Alec Baldwin. I don't believe that it was his responsibility to make sure that live rounds weren't on the movie set. I mean, live rounds should never be on a movie set. And the things that we're finding out now about this Seth person who had a beef with the woman who was killed is what I'm hearing. But it wasn't, he did it. He put the live rounds and made the live rounds appear because he was trying to prove a point. He was angry because he was not hired as the armorer. This 23-year-old person who had no experience was the person who was hired as the armorer. And he was trying to prove a point that someone who's inexperienced will miss live rounds or something like that. He states that he wasn't at all trying to get someone killed. So I think it's really sad as to what happened there. But both of those people were close friends of Alec Baldwin, and I'm sure that he was just devastated by what took place. Yeah, I'm really glad that he's been taking time for himself as well, getting out and fishing, doing some of the fun stuff that we all need to do once in a while and get away from our computers. It's good for our mental health and it's good for a lot of things. But yeah, I'm happy that Frank's been taking some time. Hey, Susie, how are you? I do too, 63 clocks. I'm not looking forward to it at all. Yes. I missed that walk because I had to get back home. I only could stay for the Delphi one that weekend. So I definitely am looking forward to being at one of my first Flora walks very soon. Um, yeah, there was an armorer. She was 23 years old. They found her guilty in April, I believe, and sentenced her to 18 months in prison for her role in what happened, Farmer. And the thing that of the whole thing about him pulling the trigger, they can't prove that he pulled the trigger because they never tested his gun. They didn't test his gun for DNA. They didn't test his gun for fingerprints or anything. They didn't test the hammer and they didn't test the trigger. So they can't prove that. You can think what you want, but it's what you can prove in the court of law. So I don't believe I don't believe that part. It goes back to again, no matter how hard we feel or how strongly we feel about something, when it comes to what's going on in a court of law, it's all what you can prove and what the evidence shows. And they were negligent. I mean, there were just things they just didn't do in this case. And it came back to bite them. And I do believe that they were on a mission to hang him out to dry. Basically, they wanted to make a example of him, and that is the only reason why they would have taken ammunition that could possibly have been exculpatory and filed it under a different case number and didn't put that evidence with the evidence of the Rust shooting. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me, and when the defense took apart that crime scene tech on the stand, I mean, she was so flippant and so, just like, well, I don't recall. Well, I don't remember. And he was like, really? You don't remember? Man, I mean, it was something to watch. Um, and I agree with that to a point, but I also agree with this. Anytime you have a weapon in your hand, you need to check. And it's supposed to be a prop gun. It's not supposed to be a real weapon, I guess. In this case, these were real weapons that would shoot real ammunition. The poor point is they should never have real live ammunition on a movie set. Why would you? What would be the reason for that? And I'm assuming that actors just don't even think about that, of there actually being live ammunition. So yeah, it's a really bizarre scenario. And the whole reason of this, like I said, that this guy states that he snuck this live ammunition in there was because he was trying to prove a point at how inexperienced she was and how she wouldn't catch it. So, um, Mother of Dragons, thank you so much for your $4.99 super sticker. Absolutely, for supporting the channel. I so appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oh my God, did you see him cry? I think he's very remorseful. I think that he's going to live with this forever because those were not only the woman who died, but the director of the movie that was also shot with the same bullet because it exited her and went into him. They were good friends. Joel and Helena were good friends of Alec Baldwin. So I can't even imagine what he must be feeling. That's what happens, I think, though, when you cut corners and when you are a low budget film. You're doing low budget movies and you don't have the money to put forth for this or for that. That's safety is one of the places that you shouldn't cut, right? And I was floored to find out that their armorer was 23 years old. I'm just sorry. I was like, what? That's pretty doggone young to know how does she know anything about guns? So yeah, I was surprised. Hey Deb, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, it just depends. My husband was in the military for over 34 years, and he said that the blanks or the inactive rounds, the non-live rounds, had like these little markings on the tip, and you could definitely see them. You absolutely knew when you looked at this bullet versus this bullet if it was live or if it wasn't. And that's in the military. And to me, it should be something that is so easily visible that there could never be an accidental scenario like this where you would look at a bullet that you were putting into a gun, because that's what the armorer did. The armorer was in charge of the ammunition and in charge of putting that ammunition into the weapon and then giving it to the actors and then taking it back from the actors and dealing with it at that point. That's what the armorer on the movie sets do. That's their job. Aw. Oh, Miranda, I hope you are feeling better. We're all thinking about you. Yeah, they're saying that she may get a new trial. They don't know yet, but I'm sure her attorneys are looking into that. It's never easy, my dear. It's just not. And we're all here thinking about you. Well, when he was originally first charged, they threw those charges out. So then they came back. Like I said, I really think that they were hell bent on using him as an example, and they wanted the person who had the biggest Hollywood clout, and it was Alec Baldwin, because he was a producer of an executive producer on the movie, plus he was the actor, so the principal. So just because he's the producer doesn't mean that he should know all the ins and outs of the armorer's job. For sure, I do agree with that. But I just think that there was some shoddiness with the whole scenario that set them up for this kind of an accident to happen. And that's how I feel about it. And I was very impressed with the judge in this case and how hang on a second, my heater kicked on, and good Lord knows we don't need a heater in here. I have an electronic fireplace in my office that I use in the wintertime because this is the coldest room in my house. And with all my spiders, you guys, I maintain a temperature in here of 75 to 81 degrees continually. So I don't know why my heater came on because it's definitely warm in here. Yeah, she had a real attitude, and the judge kind of called her out on that. Aw, Keyara loved to eat, loved reading and dancing and singing. She was a little party animal, lots of energy and personality. I think the girls all had these really vibrant personalities. They were each individual, obviously, but I think they fed off of one another. And I definitely think that their mom is a lot of why they were as outgoing and friendly and loving as they were, because that's the kind of mom Galen was to them. And she instilled that in those girls. And you can tell by how they were and the type of girls that they were, that they came from a very loving environment. And it's never easy being a single parent and having to parent your kids. And I have a lot of friends over the years who, for one reason or another, and no real fault of their own, were single parents. And it's difficult being a single parent, whether you're a single dad raising your kids or you're a single mom raising your kids. When you have to play both roles, it's tough. And when you don't get those timeouts and those down times for the time to yourself, Galen was working 2 jobs. She was doing all the right things that she could do to take care of her girls. And so time with her girls was precious just because of the amount of time that she had to spend away from them. And to lose all that in a split second because someone decided, for whatever their motive and purpose was, that they were going to burn down the house that you were in. I find it very hard to believe that whoever started this fire didn't know that Galen and her girls were asleep in that house. Just simply because of the time of day, middle of the night. So hold on one second. Galen is texting me, so hold on. I'm trying to get her here, guys. Hang on. I can't spell. And yeah, the girls had school that next morning. So yeah, whoever did this knew that they were in that house. Miranda said, it's not not fair what happened to those girls. Such bullshit. How terrible life can be. People like Galen, Larry Crum, Drew Collins give me hope and inspire me because of their strength. I always have said that, it takes a village to raise children. And you have to have people behind you And I'm glad that Galen has a close family who love her, because I think that they're the ones who helped her get to where she is now. You know, her sister, her aunt, you know, her dad, her mom. You know, family is important. And I know when I lost my Adam, all I wanted was my parents. I wanted to be with my husband, my parents, my daughter, my best friend. I needed that support base to help me cope with the intense grief. And it's extremely important to have those kinds of relationships. Not everybody is afforded that. Not everybody has that. Sadly, I think that I've told you guys before, when I joined the Compassionate Friends after I lost Adam, which is the international organization for parents who've lost children. And I started doing a lot of training and whatnot. And I ended up starting a local chapter here of the Compassionate Friends for parents who've lost children. I learned a lot in going through all of that training. And one of the things that I learned, first of all and foremost, is that marriages or relationships between parents who have lost children, the dissolution of those relationships, either by divorce or whatever, is so astronomically high. It's like 96% of all marriages end in divorce after the death of a child. And that death doesn't have to be violent. It's just the way it is. But when it's a violent death, it's probably even multiplied, because the stress level is, you know, you're not only dealing with the death, but you're dealing with this unknown of a criminal case or a court case. If they do catch who did it, you know, whatever, and then you end up going through this. And sometimes these things, like I said, can take years and years and years to come to a resolution and justice. So when you're looking at that on top of everything, it's just an enormous amount of pressure and an enormous amount of stress that's put on that relationship. And you know, Drew ended up divorced. Him and his wife ended up divorced over this. And so it is extremely difficult. And I will say, you know, I went through my own stress. We were separated for almost 3 years. He remained in Colorado, and I came home to Illinois with my daughter, because there was just so much going on in our family during that period of time. And his parents were ill. His mom had been diagnosed with cancer. His dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. They were here. He was having trouble dealing with that, plus the death of Adam. I mean, it's just, you just don't know what people are going through. And I think that's what the big thing is to try to judge gently, because you don't know the street that people are walking and the path people are walking. And you can think you know how this all feels, and you think you can know what it's like. One of the things that angers me, you guys, is when people look at me and tell me, I know exactly how you feel. I lost my grandparents. You don't know how I feel. If you've never lost a child, and I pray you never do or never will, I don't ever want anyone to know that kind of pain. But it is not the same as losing your parents or losing your grandparents or anyone else in your life. We are not supposed to bury our children. It's just not the way that things are supposed to go. So, and you know, I've had people tell me how amazing I am, and I don't feel amazing. I had a 8-year-old daughter at home that I had to take care of. I had to be a mom to. And I didn't feel that I had a choice other than try to go on. And the fact that I know that's what he would want for me. Obviously, it's not as easy as it sounds, because I mean, you know, I had my own health issues and emotional issues and physical issues that we've all talked about. So, and my heart goes out to all parents who have to try to navigate these cases where their children were taken from them by some evil person that I can't even begin to describe. And I hate saying monsters, because honest to God, you guys, they're not monsters. They're just normal people like you and I that have evil hearts, black hearts, who absolutely don't, you know, get to um they don't get a pass from me. I don't want to call them a monster, because they're not monsters. They're just normal, everyday people that have blackened hearts. And that's just the way I look at it. Because they don't. When I think of monster, I think of a manifestation of something that's, you know, a monster. That's something hard to look at. These people turn out to be just regular people, just like you and me. Miranda, I can tell you that I basically told him that I couldn't live that way anymore, and that I needed him to come home with us, and for us to be a family and build our life, or we needed to, you know, kibosh it, because I couldn't live the way I was living anymore. And that's all he needed to hear. When I made that statement to him, he packed up everything and came back home to Illinois. And we've been together ever since. So that's basically how that happened. And it wasn't easy. I mean, it's not easy. It's, you know, we both have grieved different ways and in different capacities. And I think men and women do anyway. Society expects certain things out of men that they don't expect out of women, and they expect men to be much stronger and not show their emotions as much. And it's really difficult for men who've lost children, because they just feel like they weren't there to protect their child, or to do whatever it was, you know, to prevent what happened. And that's, again, one of the things that I hang on a second, because I'm not sure where Gaylin's at and she's not talking to me. So hold on a second, guys. I'm going to send her another invite. Hold on. Just to make sure she has it. There she goes. Okay, hopefully she gets this one. Thank you, Miranda. It's you know, he was my best friend. You know, I was 17 years old when I met him. So it was I don't know, it's just not been, it wasn't easy. We're the first ones to say that, but I'm glad that we were able to get through it. I often tell him that we've been through the worst of the worst together. And we've learned a lot, like I said, over the years, about each other, about marriage, you know, and I could do a whole show on that, but that's not what people are here to hear about. So, hey, Simon Wright from West Yorkshire. Good to see you. There she is. I see this beautiful person. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm going to bring her on with us. Make sure that everybody remains respectful in this chat. If you're not, you will be kicked to the curb. So, okay, give our welcome and love to Galen, you guys.
Hello, y'all. How y'all doing?
Hi, Galen. How
How
are
you
you?
doing, lady? I'm good, honey. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, and it's so good to see your beautiful face.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate you.
Oh my goodness. And look at your blanket on the wall of your beautiful babies. Oh
Yeah,
God, I love it.
I'm gonna revamp it. I'm about to go to see if I can go and frame it. Because my friend, he was like, he doesn't like it the way that it's hung freely. And so he feels like I should put it in like
If you don't
uh
frame it, one of the things you can do, and Michael's does this, is you can, it's called dry mounting, and they
okay.
mount it to foam board. So you
Okay.
don't actually have to put it in a picture frame. It'll
Okay.
just be on a frame, like on
Text
a
me.
board. I'll
Okay.
text you how to do
You
that.
girl, you know it. You yeah, you one
Yeah,
on
I
one.
will. And
Yeah.
I think that would look good too. And that way you don't
Okay.
have to put glass or anything around it. You can just have
Perfect.
it. It's
Yeah.
so pretty. I love it.
I have actual like more. I could pull them up. Like, come on.
Oh, they're so cute. Isn't that, you guys, isn't that beautiful? I love it. Oh,
Have like so I recently got more pictures that I'm gonna hang up in the living room,
uh-huh.
and they go like this. Like let me see. So we have this. Like they're big. They're not little.
Oh, I love them. Oh, look
Yeah.
it. That's great.
I want this one framed.
Uh-huh.
This one is gonna be framed, and then I have this one that's not framed as well.
Hang on, guys. I'm going to take myself out of the picture.
Like I have these of all our moments and stuff. I'll pull up the other one that I just put down. It's this one too. I'm gonna put these two in a picture frame to hang in my living room or maybe in my guest room. And then
Mm-hmm.
I already have this one in a picture frame. But this one comes from at home.
Oh, I like that one too. A lot.
Yeah. So I thank y'all. Thank you.
Are those all those pictures from cheer, or is it other
Um,
stuff too?
we have yeah, we just have like all of them for cheer, yeah, and then we have this one from Halloween. This was their last Halloween together, and me and
Okay.
him. This one right here, and then this right here was Halloween a year before this Halloween,
Okay.
because this lady right here, Ruby, she would like host Halloween parties for our kids and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so, which was my girl's cheerleading coach,
Oh,
Kiosha.
that's cool.
Yeah, Kiosha
Awesome.
Hazelwood. So this was Kiosha's mom, and she would throw parties for us. So this one right here is from the party before.
So that was 2015, and then the other one is from 2016 then, right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, this was our first one, and I love the 2015 one. I love both of them, but this is where they got girly at. But other than that, yeah, this is their yep, this one right here is that's of course this 2016 Halloween. But everything else is just from their cheerleading from that weekend before the house caught on fire.
Awesome.
Literally. These are
I love that
literally
you
these
have all
yeah,
of
these
those
are their
memories.
last pictures before they passed away, a couple days before they passed away.
Yeah, because you were at a cheer competition, weren't you, that
Yes,
weekend?
ma'am. In South Bend, that Saturday they had a cheer competition, and so this is where they all was dolled up and
They
did
were
their
so
little
cute that day. You did a good job on their
yeah.
hair,
I thought
everything.
I was in I was in another interview. I think I was in an interview with Tara, and I felt like I was in the Bring It On competition. Like when you guys as moms and dads go to y'all cheerleading competition, you guys are instantly put in that Bring It On type of world. If y'all have not watched Bring It On, I don't know, but go watch Bring It On. And literally, when I stepped foot in there, the only thing that I had done to my girls was their buns. Like I did their buns, like I did their hair. I did their hair myself.
Right.
But makeup, I don't wear makeup right now as we speak. I wear some lip gloss because my lips are chapped. But and realistically, I don't wear makeup. I've never wore makeup. I think I've wore makeup a couple times in my life. You know what my mom has said to me? Like the last time that I wore makeup, my mom was like, "You look like a drag queen." I was like, "Oh my god."
You
No,
are so beautiful. I can't
I know.
imagine you. You don't need
I
makeup.
know, but that's just my mom being a hater. I love my mom, and she's just a hater. Like she couldn't imagine me wearing makeup because my skin is already beautiful. Like my
You
best friend, she walked past my desk, and my skin was showing on the side, and she was like, "Galen, your skin is so beautiful." I was like, "Girl, get back to your desk." But yeah, this right here was their cheerleading days, like their last. This is the and then this one was their funeral right here. Yeah. So,
Jinx says she needs the measurements for the picture frames that you need.
oh, tell Jinx I'm gonna call her. Yeah, girl.
There you go. There
Tell
you
Jinx she
go.
know I'm gonna call her
I love
ASAP.
your hair. So 63 Clock says that she
Thank
loves your
you.
hair. Your
I just
hair.
did my hair, y'all, this morning because I needed to do it. Like from the last time y'all saw me, it was needed to be taken out. But yeah, thank y'all. Appreciate
No,
it.
you look good. You look
Thank you,
good. And
baby.
I love your smile. I'm glad to see that. And I know things are going pretty well for you right now. And as far as your work and
Yeah.
and being with your, like we were just talking about before you got here, about you having the support of your family close
Yeah.
to you. Again,
Yeah.
that's so important with
Appreciate
what
it.
you're trying to go through. I'm so happy for you for that.
Thank you.
Um, but I wanted you to be able to just talk about the girls, because
Sure.
I know that how important that is to talk about
Of
them,
course. I'm trying to
and
get one better lighting.
important for you. So, you can, if you just want to talk about each one of them individually,
Sure.
feel free. Tell us or introduce them
I'm gonna
to
see
the
how I can.
audience.
Okay, hold on, real quick. I'm gonna like try to. Let me
You're
see.
fine.
I'm gonna unplug my camera outside and figure it out as far as my. Hold on, real quick. Where is my freaking charger? Oh.
Because like I told you guys, Galen is a super mom. To put, 4 girls into cheer is not easy.
It was
It is,
very expensive.
it is not easy.
It was expensive, ladies and gentlemen,
I'm
for
just
real.
saying, yeah. And we know that. I have friends right now who have girls in cheer and little girls, Galen's girls'
I just want
ages.
my phone to go dead.
And man, I'm telling you, the costuming alone can be
Yeah, I couldn't like. I'm gonna be real. I sit in front of a lot of people, and I'm not gonna share. This is one thing about me, and I'm not gonna repeat myself more than once. Like I'm not gonna sit on this live and say nothing that I feel like I'm lying about or I'm misconstruing nobody about. Like I'm coming on this live and just speaking for myself and speaking on how I dealt with my life, with my children, and what I went through with my children. I'm not on here to slander nobody. I'm not on here to do none of that because just recently my last live, I made certain people uncomfortable. I'm gonna like I made a person uncomfortable, but I'm not on that. I'm like you guys. I'm a mom at the end of the day, and those girls' definition of me being their mom, I'm not going. Can't nobody compare what I went through and none of that. But I just speak on how I live in my life with them
exactly.
girls. But individually, like my oldest, she came in this world by herself. She didn't come in with Kionnie, Kerriele, or Keyara. My baby came in this world by herself. At a young age, I'm like, Mama, Keyana here. I'm leaving. I didn't run away. No one made me leave. I literally moved a block away. And if y'all want pictures, I'll go and take a picture of the house. Because I literally was just out with my girls last night. And I passed by the house that me and Keyana lived in. Me, Brittany, and Keyana. Because Brittany was my little sister. At the time, she was like, Galen, you're not leaving me in here. Mm-mm. I'm coming with you. And that's what she did. My sister started like she left my mom. She didn't run away. She didn't do none of that. None of that situation. Like my sister came with me purposely because she loved and was infatuated with Kiana Latrice Davis. Like, oh God. She was her first auntie and she like, you got a baby? I ain't leaving you. Period. So my sister came with me, and she eventually, like Brittany, eventually stayed with me until she graduated high school. And the only 2 people that was at the high school graduation at the time was my sister, my mom and Keyana. And she was so little, y'all. I can send y'all a picture of that too. She had balloons for her Titi and everything. She was the only
Aw.
kid. Yeah, she was the only kid. But my sister graduated high school. And so, yeah, it's just with Kiana Davis, she has just been around me the longest. And so she's the oldest. She is in front of everyone. She was head honcho. Like, when I tell you I made her become a big sister, and that's what she did. She was a big sister, even to the point where she was like, "Mom, they're following me." Um,
Well, she was getting to that age too,
yeah. Oh,
where
wait. I'm gonna run real quick. I'm about to show y'all something. Hold on. Wait. Oh my god. I was talking to my best friend the other day. Oh, here it goes. So you guys, okay, so I was like, just a couple days ago, we're gonna speak on Keyana because she transformed. Okay, so I was on the phone with one of my girlfriends, and she was doing her hair, and we were talking about our kids. And I'm one thing about it. I'm gonna love on your child. Like, if you introduce me to a kid, I'm gonna love on that baby. If I know of that child, I'm gonna take pictures. So it's like a few guys that I know out here, like, that's related to Kiana's dad and their friends. And I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm putting an example. There's one guy, not to switch the story. The way I'm reading, the way I'm saying is I love on kids. It's like one of Kiana's dad's friends. He's incarcerated. He don't get a chance to see his son. So what a coincidence! I was at a park on 4th of July, and I saw his son. I got to take a picture. So I ain't gonna lie. Like, oh, and so I took a picture of his son because he hasn't seen his son and he's incarcerated. And so I sent them to him, and he was like, "Galen, I appreciate you so much."
that's so
Because
awesome that
he
you
was
did
like,
that.
I needed that. He didn't say I wanted that. He was like, I needed that. Like, I needed this. So for me to give a person a picture of it, but yeah, Keyana, I was the other day, what I'm trying to get at is, like, Keyana was transforming to the point where every kid wore their hair in bobos. You see Peter?
Uh-huh.
Peter
Uh-huh.
was in a bobo. Keyara was in a bobo. She was in a bobo. Like, I promised before this last person left the house, I had her hair in bobos. And this is how she came home to me. Kiana walked, listen, y'all, she walked through that door looking like this. And I'm like, she was like, what, Mom? I was like, today was picture day. Okay. I'm like, I know you didn't take a picture looking like that. And she had that little thing. She looked just like this. She looked just like this when she came in the house. And I said, Kelly, you didn't go to school looking like
Like that.
that.
What did you do?
Well, Mom, I just took the bubbles out and I just wanted my hair to flow like this. Yeah, you look raggedy. And that is what I said. Asked her mom, like, what? You just, like, messed up the whole trend.
That's so funny though.
But she was maturing. Like,
Right.
Keyana.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was
My,
she was coming into her own, getting her own style,
and she
and
was a
she wanted to
Gemini.
express it.
Yeah, she's a Gemini. So now I'm like now as we speak, I'm very, very big up on zodiac signs. And
Uh-huh.
so yeah, like, I'm a Pisces, of course. Oh yeah, y'all can't mess with me. I'm a Pisces, sorry.
I love
I'm
the
that.
water signs because I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah. See, we're like us water signs, we're cocky. I'm not saying like I'm big headed or nothing, but I know what I'm dealing with and I know what I got in
I'm
front of me.
spicy.
Very spicy, yeah. And so it's just Keyana was turning different. She was turning into my big girl the way it was, because she was to the point where she was like, Mom, I want to go see my dad. And I'm like, you're leaving. And I'm like, so what about the other three? And I had to catch myself, and she was like, Mom, I'm just gonna go and spend a couple whatever. She was literally drifting away from me and becoming the teenager that a teenager was supposed to. Was I angry? No. Was I scared? Heck yeah. My baby didn't have no. She wasn't a woman. but she was turning into one because her head was hurting. Like Keyana was another definition of my little sister, Brittany. Keyana, she read 3 books at once. I had to stop her, like, bro, you have, not to say bro, but I was like, sis, like, you got 3 books in front of you. What's going on? Literally, that's all. That's how I had to come to her. Like, what's going on with you? You can read 3 books. I, as your mama, I ain't read books. Like Brittany, again, you can come in the room because me and my sister share a room. On her side, it was treacherous. On my side, I was like a fan of B2K and I was a celebrity, this, that, and the third. But my sister, you can go over there and you be like, bro, you got 3 books. And she'll be like, well, this one is about the San Francisco Bridge. And this one is about the San Jose, whatever. And then this one is about this one. And I'm like standing there looking like, all right, cool. I can't not go against you. So, boom, it hit me. Keyana, my baby had 3 books at the time. She was reading all 3 books. I was like, Keyana, again, I'm older. Keyana, what you got going on here? Well, Mom, this book is about the river, and this book is about Louisiana, and then this book is about the earth. And I'm like, yeah, you lost me. You're good. Like, I couldn't even question, nor when it came to Keyana, she was like, she was her own little person. She had good grades. She was like, ugh. She was like untouchable to me. Like she was like the strong sister, and she
Mm-hmm.
tried to and she like held a lot of things down, and she was more Keyana Davis was more of my dominant daughter. And if anything was to happen to me, boom, she had that mentality and she had that brain like mom it her legs broke. You do as I say, and she was controlling. Like she would have been that controlling big sister, and they all 3 would have fell all in her little trap. So Keyara, we're gonna move to Keyara because I
Yeah.
see when I talk about my girls, I have to like look at them. Like I have to visualize their face on what we went through in life. So Kiara's next, of course, because she's the second oldest. We're gonna go in order. Of course, that's how I do.
Yeah. There
Kiara,
you go. There
yeah,
you go.
Kiara Phillips, she was just like, she was more like she could have been autistic.
Okay.
Um, and when I explain autism to a person, you really got to like put your soul, your mind, body, attention. You have to reflect off how she reacts and how
I have
she
an autistic
was.
grandson
Okay.
who is a senior in high school this
Okay.
year, so I absolutely
Exactly.
get it. I get
And
it. He
so
was nonverbal for until he was 5 years old. So
okay, Kiara was the exact same one. Like all the other 3 girls, make a long story short, it took me a little bit longer for me to potty train Kiara because of her behavior and her mentality.
hmm
And she just didn't know what she was getting her. Like she didn't know. And so you can't blame her. You have to work with her.
right.
And so even with I can skip over, I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't lie. Like I got hotline because Kerriele, for one example. I must have was working with Keyara
hmm
with her homework because I'm a mommy, and my attitude and everything went it just clashed. And so Kerriele, it's like Kerriele at the time, and I was trying to help Keyara. It's like mommy, 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 mommy. This is how she was me. And I'm like, I have a whole kid right here that needs me, and you have Kerriele that because she is just dominant because she's Keyana. Y'all gotta realize Keyana and Kerriele are born on the same day.
Oh wow.
Okay, yeah. So Keyana and Kerriele, they were born June 2nd.
Okay.
I had Keyana probably in the morning or whatever, and I might have had Kerriele at 11:50, June 2nd, her year. Literally. Y'all know it's her year. And the only reason why I say that is because the lady was like, ma'am, you can just wait. You can wait 10 minutes. I'm like, ma'am, I am in labor. Get this baby out of me now. That is why Kerriele came, because I said in those exact words, she says, well, Galen, you can wait 10 minutes.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
I've been in labor with this little girl for a get this baby out of me right now. I don't care. So that's why Kerriele and Keyana has the same day is because I'm not like, come on, you mommies, if y'all wait, kudos to you. But the pain that I bear, ain't happening. Get out of here. So with Keyara, it's just I had to take my time, a little bit more time with Keyara. And you can't rush it. You have to you had to really pay attention to her until she grew out of what she grew out of. And
Mm-hmm.
Keyara didn't really grow out of that phase until she was at least 8. And barely I had to really pay attention to Keyara because Keyara, what you could think that she's out of that stage, but it's just like, whoa, you transitioned so far. My baby, it took you 6 years to get yourself potty trained. You're only 8, like, So with Keyara, I tried to pay attention to her a little bit more than them other 3.
Right.
Literally, no, yeah, no, no. I paid attention to all 4 of them, but Keyara, you had to, Keyara, what are you doing? Are you hungry? Yeah, no, because she wouldn't talk to you.
Right.
You wouldn't have known what Keyara needed if you didn't communicate with Keyara.
Yep.
And that is how I had her. And you can't mistreat my baby. You couldn't mistreat all of them, because at certain point of like their lives, like Keyana, like I said on the last live, Keyana was like, Mama, yeah, we around this family, but Mama, when you're not around us, they're mean to us. But Mom, when you're around, they're nice. Everything goes static. And so I took that. I'm not going against my family, friends, nothing. I took that as a mom and as a mother's perspective to protect my kids. So I've even went to my aunt's house, Aunt Jackie's house. Come on, I ain't go. I told y'all tonight, we're not gonna lie. We're gonna tell everything the truth. I would go to my Aunt Jackie's house. I would go to my Aunt Louise's house, and it was time for kids to get their plates. Don't touch my kid's plate. Mm-mm. And everybody be like, no, I did that for a reason because what did I just tell you? My baby told me, Mommy, when you're around us, everybody cool. But when you leave us, everybody mean. Okay, cool. We're going to play that into the play. Don't talk to my kids. I was a bitch. I'm not going to say it. I was a bitch when it came to their behavior. And somebody else on the outside had to tell my kids, no, you come to me. You come to me and I'm going to tell them. And if they react or they don't, that's up to me to make their butts right at the end of the day. So with Kerriele, she was spicy, y'all. Yeah, Kerriele McDonald would have been the spicy one. She was gonna wear the tight jeans. She was gonna wear the little hair like a mom. She was gonna be the bougiest one out of all 4 of them because that's just I don't know how that's how she was. She was cocky. I ain't gonna lie. She like right before she passed away. It was Halloween and she got sick. I tell this story like I know it from yesterday. So, cause I just know Kerriele, she's spicy. So the nurse calling me like, "We got Kerriele sick. Come get her." And I'm just like, "All right, I'll be there in an hour." And that lady at that school, she was like, "No, you come get your baby now." I was on the phone like, "Woo." And she was sick. She was sick, but she's a character. She's just, like Kerriele would have been outspoken. She would have been like, "Why your hair looking like that? Why you looking like she was a very, very different little girl." But I had to keep her in her place. Like, come on, be nice, this, that, and the third. And she would have been like, Mom, So she was the more outspoken Gemini than Keyana. Keyana was popular. Like she wanted a million followers and all that, and she just wanted to be a famous Keyana. But Kerriele, she would have like, get out of our room. Why are you like she would have had that stank Gemini attitude. But sassy, tight jeans, this that, and the third. Now Petal, oh, she was just mean. Like Kionnie, moving to Kionnie Welch, like she was suffocated in the house for a very, very long time. Okay. She did not go to school. She didn't have a daycare. I was her daycare. And at the time, my male friend, he watched her and she was just around the house. So KP, she was like, Kionnie was like, yeah, I'm not ready to go outside. So you got to go to work today? I'm like, yeah, man, I don't want to go to the babysitter. Can I go to work with you? That's how I.
So she was like your mini me. She just wanted to be with mom or be wherever you were or be at home. She was happy to be
Mom.
home.
She like, Mom, you gotta go to work today? And I'd be like, Peter, yeah, I gotta go to work. I'd be like, Peter, how are we gonna keep this TV on? Like, you see these lights working? Peter, she was like, all right. But she didn't go to school with the rest of the kids. She had to go to daycare.
Right.
So that's what kind of messed Kionnie up, is that she wasn't doing everything her sister was doing. She was kind of stuck, but she liked it. Like, Kionnie was with me when I first got my glasses. Like, if y'all go through my pictures back, Kionnie was like there with me when I got my glasses. Like, Kionnie never left me. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, Kionnie never left my side. She was always under me. Don't get me wrong, the other three too, they would try to monitor me. Mom, you got to go to work today? I'd be like, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
that's how my girls did me when I had to go to work. And I'm like, listen, if I had a husband or anybody else that would help take care of us, I would be in this house with y'all. That's no problem. So that's how I had to tell them, like, mommy is mommy. I am by myself. So they
Yeah,
all,
and that's the thing I was telling everybody before you came on, when you're a single parent and you're doing the parenting for two, your mom and dad,
yeah,
because you don't have that, and you've got maybe family that can
yeah,
help out or friends or whatever, but
yeah,
basically it's you,
yeah.
and you're everything all the
Especially
time.
towards the beginning of me in Flora, I didn't have my friends no more. I didn't have my mom or my sister. I didn't have those main women that was in the girl's life. And you guys, whoever I'm talking to, like, they were upset. Like, they didn't want me to leave. They didn't want me to go nowhere. They didn't want the girls to go nowhere. Like, they felt like I was just, why are you leaving? Like,
Can you
we
can you talk a little bit about what led you to leave Missouri
Missouri.
and why you came and why you picked or chose Flora,
Oh,
Indiana?
sure. I in my life I felt like I was young here in Missouri. Y'all, I had my girls at young ages. Y'all know this is not nothing new. And I just felt like I could make a change without the major people around me. So what I'm trying to explain to y'all is like I had those children. I had all four girls on my own. And for so long I've had my mom, my best friend Nikki, my best friend Brittany, my sister Brittany. Those women, Mama Carrie, my sister, my best friend's mom Carrie, like, and not only that, my best friends are not black. They're mixed. Like, their mom is white. Literally, Carrie Weberg is white. Like, she whatever. But those main people in my life would help me take care of my kids. If I wanted to leave out that door, my kids wouldn't have went with me. If like, I mean, like, if I was to go to the store or something, like, my kids never left their home because they always had somebody here with them. Um, so I was just like, man, look, on a different outskirts, and then that's when my friends started having babies. Then my sister, she started having her boys. So what does that tell everyone in the world? Everybody is becoming their own mother. Everyone is having their own lives to live. My best friend had a daughter. Brittany, she had her two sons, my nephews. I have these four girls. I wanted to take another step in my life, in my motherhood, as far as my children. I wanted to step outside of what was going on in the inside,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't plan on making myself a single mom. I've been a single mom. If I wanted to pick up the phone and call the kids' fathers, cool, I probably could have, but I can't make somebody give me something that they don't have, or if they're dealing with other
Absolutely.
things, I
Yeah.
can't stop what they got going on and be like, come and do this for her. And no, I didn't have it like that in my life. I had to keep going. So, make a long story short, I had to become a single mom. I'm already a single mom, though. I can't become something that I already was, because I put more maintain and more heart and everything into those four girls.
You know
So,
what, though? What I hear from what you're telling me with your
yeah.
story and listening to this come from you
Yeah.
is that, Yeah, you were a single mom. You were a
Yeah,
young single mom, but you weren't the average young single mom.
exactly.
You absolutely were a strong woman
Yeah,
who decided, I love my babies and
yeah,
I'm going to do the best by them.
yeah,
I'm going to do the best I can by them and make
yes.
sure that I raise good girls
Mm-hmm.
and that I'm there for them,
Yeah.
because it's not about being able to give them things, Galen. It's about
No.
giving them love and teaching them about
Yeah.
compassion and being good
Exactly.
people. And that's what you
Exactly.
did. You
Yeah,
did
and
that.
becoming the little girls and the little woman you guys were supposed like they were supposed to be. It
Yes.
wasn't that extra stuff. Like my
Right.
whatever I did on my personal level, I'm gonna be real right now. My girls wouldn't have been able, like they couldn't have held that accountable against me. And they might have, oh, your mama, I saw your mama, and they would have been like, all right, well, you saw that, but look at me. They would have been bougie, like they would have been like, okay, she used to do what she did, but like I'm cool. My shoes is nice, my shirt, like my girls are. They would have been high to duty, like they would have been like, I don't care what y'all got going on.
You took care of your girls. But there's absolutely,
Yeah.
there's no, I don't think that anybody out there that tries to put out a narrative that you didn't, those
Mm-mm.
people don't know what they're talking about. Because even
Yeah.
those of us that have followed your case for so long and for
Yeah.
all of these years,
And even if you continue to follow the case, like y'all,
exactly, you
yeah,
you see it. And
yeah, yeah,
as a mother, you absolutely see it. And
uh,
you see the love and the
yeah.
deep love that you had for these children and how much you gave. I mean, working 2 jobs for, my God, how long did you do that?
Oh, just recently I did 2 jobs up until March the 15th
But
of
back when the
2024.
girls, back in Flora, you
The
were
girl.
working 2 jobs, weren't you, in Flora?
So I was technically I was working at the hotel in Lafayette,
Okay.
but I had to give them 2 weeks. So in the midst of it, yeah, I was working 2 jobs, but I switched over within those 2 weeks because I didn't want to leave um the homewood suites. Like I didn't want to leave them without just high and dry. I'm professional. You give 2 weeks notice, like, hey, to whom this concern, whatever. Because if I wanted to go back, I could, but you don't go back, you go forward.
Right.
So I just left the job in midst of it. And I'm gonna be real, this is personal. Like this gets deep. I left Homewood Suites because of a reason. Like my dad was my babysitter. We're gonna make this clarify right here, right now. My
Okay.
dad watched the girls, this, that, and the third. But the type of relationship that my dad has like put in with his girlfriend that he lived like he was with in Flora, um, she didn't accept me, y'all. She she didn't like the fact that he wanted to be there for us. And so she, in so many words, gave him like an ultimatum, like, you're gonna be over here with me and my kids, or you're gonna go over there. And so he had to put his foot down, like, look, I'm gonna be here both. I'll be here with you at night, but in the day, I'm gonna go to Catherine Street. So that's how my life really ran when I lived with my dad. It's like he had his own world. I lived in that 1 bedroom apartment because my dad paid those bills in there. And so if you guys sit here on this live and think that a 1 bedroom would be enough for me and my 4 children, and I'm like, I show y'all how I live, and like when they live, like we a 1 bedroom, they're all girls. What was I gonna sleep? So I can give them the room, and I'm what y'all expect me to sleep in the living room? No, that's not
Right.
how it goes. What you want
Right.
me to sleep in the dining room? No, that's not how it goes. It's not. That's not how it's gonna go. So we maintained and lived on Catherine Street because my dad had that. Like my kids are here now. Like my daughter is here. She's not going nowhere. So like the person that he was dealing with at the time, she came around on certain things. Like, but at the same time, she just wanted my dad to herself. But at that point, I'm like, all right, cool. You can stay right here on Catherine, but I'm getting me and my children somewhere else to live. Because you nor your girlfriend could expect me and my children to live in this 1 bedroom on Catherine. No, no, we're not gonna do that. So it was either live in Florida or move to Lafayette or Indianapolis by my grandma, which while she was living.
Right.
I had those 3 options. But because I was so comfortable around my dad and I was just comfortable around everything, I stood by his side. I'm like, all right, cool. I found a crib around the corner. I'm here. I ain't going to Indianapolis. I don't got to go nowhere. I can stay right here. And that's how we made it convenient. And that's how we made it comfortable. Daddy would leave the country to come straight to my house to eat, sit, talk, anything. I think the first time like Daddy he left Parrots, he was out working for his new job. And me and Keyana and the girls, we were making breakfast. Keyana was I didn't know how to cook at the time. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to
Bless
cook.
you. Bless you.
But Keyana was just so fine on making pancakes. Mama, I'll make the batter. All right. She made the batter. I stood over the stove. Period. She would mix the batter, take the batter. I would cook over the stove until we started making pancakes. Girl, we made pancakes. And to the point where my dad called and he was like, "What y'all doing?" I'm like, "Oh, we're down here making pancakes and breakfast." He was like, "Pancakes?" And I was like, "Yeah, we got pancakes going." So I sent him a picture. He was like, "Man, I'm on my way." Came to our house. He came to our house, ate pancakes with us. What? So it's just I was used to being in my own place when it came to the country. I couldn't afford or I didn't want to live in that apartment with my dad. That's just how I wasn't like, I don't know. But they all were different to
So
me.
that's what brought you to the house.
Yeah.
That's why you ended up at the house.
Uh-huh.
At that house with your girls.
Exactly.
And that's to me, that's like a normal reason. I mean,
Mhm.
why would you not? You know, I get it totally and absolutely. And awesome that your dad stood up and said, "Look, they're my granddaughters and I'm going to be taking care of them." You
Yeah.
know, that's how that's going to fly. What a
Yeah.
great dad.
Yeah, but to a certain extent to where she did feel some type of way. And he did have to come to me and was like, "You can't have this. Like, you can't have this and you can't have that." So that's what made me leave Homewood Suites to make time. This is the whole situation. My dad said, "Galen, I don't have time to watch your kids." No one knows that. No one knows what he really said, Galen. I don't have time. Like I have time. I'm not saying that. I just don't have time. So you gotta figure it out. And that's what I did. I quit Homewood Suites
So that
to
you
work
could
at the
do it.
marathon to make time for my children. I can't go by mom. I can't go to Nikki. I can't go to my Brittany's.
Right,
They're
because
not
you're not there. They're
they're
not
not
there.
there. They're not there to help me. So I have to answer this stuff on my own. I have to put this in the mind frame of, hey, I have to take care of these girls by myself.
Right.
Look, I just said my daddy don't even have time. So we're gonna cool. We're gonna nip that in the butt. We're gonna move forward. Whatever it takes for me to have time for my children, that is what I'm gonna do.
So
And
you get to Flora. How did you feel? What was your feeling about moving from this bigger city that you were from in Missouri and coming to this? And be honest, because I know
yeah,
you will be, but I'm
yeah,
just saying, don't be afraid
I'm
here
not.
to say what how you
I
felt,
got
because
you.
you're in a safe spot. You're in a safe space,
Hey,
and it's important. And the reason I'm going to tell you this, and you probably already know all this anyway, is there's people out there around your case that have a certain mindset of what they think they know, and they
of course.
really don't know crap.
No.
They need to hear it from Galen,
Yeah,
because Galen lived it.
I
You
did.
know how you felt when you got to Flora, and I just want you to tell us what it was like when you moved in, got your house, got the house with the girls, got them in school, and then you're starting to work in Flora.
So
How were you
I had
accepted into this city,
I
my
wasn't
dear?
I wasn't I
You was
wasn't
not.
accepted.
Okay.
No, no. It was. I'm in Missouri, so we're not too
Mhm.
far away from
Mhm.
racism. We
Mhm.
ain't far away from racist.
No.
I live here right now, and you have certain individuals that don't like you or they like you. But it's not known here. They just don't. They don't make you look like. They don't make you. Oh, you're not. You don't belong here. They will. They can like put up a front in front of you here in Missouri, but in Flora, yeah, it was not like that. Like, whoa, what are you here for? Like, I wasn't accepted in Flora. I wasn't. It was racist, and
Did
so that's
you
why.
did you feel like a fish out of water? Like,
Yeah.
did you feel kind of like, man, I'm here and everybody just looks at me like I've got the
I
plague,
don't belong there.
like you don't belong?
Yeah, and there were black people that lived there already. So I could just imagine how they felt, but I felt what they felt there already. Like they weren't wanted there, but they had to live their life there and maintain their life because where else were they going to go? You can't
Right.
blame them on where they were at. They didn't choose to be there. They had to be there. So with me experiencing in Florida, it was a whole nother shoe on the foot for me because I literally got it thrown in my face. Why are you here? Like, I don't, I gotta tolerate with you, but I don't like you. That's
And
how
it's
I felt.
and I'm sure, Galen, that you as a black woman, living in Missouri or wherever you may have been,
Yeah,
you'd felt racism before in your life. So
of
you knew
course.
what it was. You knew what people were doing.
Yeah,
You knew what that felt like.
of
So
course.
for you to feel that way, I'm sure it was not, I mean, I know that area. So trust me, I already know, it's the hotbed of the Ku Klux Klan. I talk about it all the time on my show. So, I mean, I already know what the mindset is in that whole area. Does that mean everybody that you came in contact with in Flora were racist? No, but
No,
you had a
no.
huge element there, and
Hmm.
your girls and you had to maneuver through that for
I
those
might, well,
months
yeah.
before the fire.
Especially at Marathon, I was probably the second black girl to work there. I can't imagine. I don't remember who was there before me, but I know I lasted the longest. And I literally looked at Laura and was like, I'm here to stay. I don't care. And even in there, I had particular people throw change at me. I had only one man, literally, okay, I'm gonna say one man threw change at me. One man threw change at me. But at the end of it, I just had to go to Laura like, hey, Lori, hey, come on, Laura. He throwing change at me, and what am I gonna do? It was nothing she could do either, because she didn't stop it. She just was like, okay, calm, blah blah blah, and I'm like, whatever. I open your store at 3:45 every morning. I demand respect around here. You don't come in until 6. I open that store at 3:45. So it was different. It was different, real different, real racist.
Did you feel like you were going to make it there, or did you feel like you were going to have to leave? How are you feeling up to the point of when everything happened to you?
I felt like I could make it there, but I wouldn't be able to stay there. That's exactly how I felt. I could
How
stay.
were your girls getting the same feelings? I mean, were they experiencing the racism the way you were at school and other places, do you feel?
Yeah, I feel like they were, but they don't have. They at the time they didn't have no understanding.
I That's what I was
So
wondering.
yeah, so
Had
Brooke could
Did
be
they know
mad.
what was
Yeah,
happening?
so Brooke or Bridget could be mad at them, and they're white, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, this girl was being mean to me, and I don't understand." She rolled her eyes at me, and in their perspective, all they think is they roll the eyes, and the girl don't like them. They're not. They didn't think to come in perspective of the color of their skin,
Right.
of another girl, Bridget or Brooke, not liking them because they were black. They didn't. I didn't never have a chance to put that in their mind. I just let it go. Like let it go. Like the day go, everything
Yeah,
flows. And
right.
I'm not finna call my babies in. All right, cool. We would have their week. All right, cool. Don't do drugs and all that. Okay, cool. We'll do that. But as far as sitting down and doing racism and this white person ain't gonna like you. No, that wasn't even in my vocabulary for my children. Because they
Right.
gotta live their life. They
No, I
have
get
to, yeah, they
right.
have to see what's going on. And so, no, they didn't know what racism was, to be real honest with you guys. They didn't.
And the beauty in them and the way that they were, dancing around outside and hanging around and waving to people as they went by. And there's so many people that you talk to from Flora that knew your girls, because
Uh-huh.
they may not have known their names, but they knew them because they were outside all the time playing, and you were on that main street, so they saw them.
Mm-hmm.
And I am thankful that your girls didn't know what that was,
Period.
because
Yeah.
the pain, none of us, as being a white woman, I'm telling you, we don't know and can't know what that feels like. And
Exactly.
there's
Exactly.
absolutely no way. And I have white privilege just because I'm white. And I know that. And for people to say they don't, it angers me,
Yeah, I know.
because
You
we
do.
do.
You
We
do.
are afforded things that you aren't because
Yeah.
of the color of our skin, and it's
Exactly.
wrong. It's
Exactly.
wrong.
Yep.
When I first started covering your case, your girl's case, I used to have people come into my chats and say, "Don't talk about racism. This has nothing to do with race." And I'm like, it has everything to do with race, because of
It
who
does.
Gaylin was, what her children were in this town that is completely white, that it does have something to do with race.
It
Now,
does.
was it absolutely racially motivated? I don't know that. But I do believe
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
that there's race involved here.
I'm here, right?
And
I'm here.
oh no, I know. I'm just saying. So and I think when you start getting people coming in and saying don't talk about it, that's when you
Uh-huh.
have to kind of look at it and say, why don't they want us to talk about it? Well, because you can't. How do they say the old adage is, you can't put lipstick on a pig? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it is what it is. You can try to dress it up any way you want, but they have to take ownership for what is going on in that town and what goes on in the hearts of the people in that town.
Exactly.
And so here you have yourself, you're trying to raise your girls, and you're doing all this. You've got them involved in cheer. You guys are doing all these wonderful things. It sounds like they were all doing fairly well in school. I mean,
Yeah.
and you were this proud, proud mama.
Yeah.
And
They
then
knew
this,
not to get bad grades. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be cocky with it. I'm not finna sugarcoat anything. They knew not to bring me nothing bad. Like, you guys have all the time in your world here in this country to read, write, spell, blink, eat, fart, whatever. And so within that, those categories that I said, studying is well involved. And so that's the main thing that I stayed on them as far as their grades, is because you guys are women. You're going to be strong women, and you're going to be my strong women, and you're going to make good grades. I'm going to put all you guys through college. Oh, mom, why? Because I didn't go to college. All right, cool. So get back to, go ahead, go in there and study, go in there and do, because I was going to do everything in my power to get every last one of those girls in college. As soon as they would have walked across that stage, they would have known. As soon as I cross the stage, it's not over. My mom is tripping. Kid and all, a baby and all. If they would have had a baby, we would have rocked this world. I would have been the best granny in the America. Mhm.
absolutely, I
You
have
know
no
why?
doubt about
I
that.
had 4 girls. So you think I'm gonna sit on this live and think that my girls ain't gonna get rah 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 and ha ha ha, because they're all teenagers right now, all the way, and even to like my male friend. Oh no, not Kionnie. He be calling me, we be talking, Kionnie, when I would have been whooping her, but how are you gonna whoop my baby at 16? She would have been like, Mom, get him. He's ugly. Get him out of our house. Yeah. Kionnie would have been like, get disgusted. So I even had to tell him, pipe down. You wouldn't have been whooping Kionnie, because Kionnie would have been like, get you know I'm gonna get him out here. Okay. But I would have took it, I would have did whatever I had to possibly do to make my girls walk across the stage and go to school. Literally. I don't care if you go a year. That's all I would have gave them.
Well, Keyana, Jinx just said, Keyana would have graduated last year, and, she was getting good grades, and doggone well that she was going to go places.
Girl, she would have been
She
everywhere.
already had set herself up. She
Yep.
knew,
Hmm.
at her
Yeah.
tender age, she knew what mom had instilled in her, what was important.
What was important. Mm-hmm. And her
And see, to me, that's
between
what's
me, her
so,
dad, her auntie, everybody around her that she looked up to, she knew she wouldn't be able to play us. Period. Either
and
you gon' yeah.
yeah, and see, that's one of the things that I love that the subscribers to my channel get to see from you
Yeah.
is that, you know, we can dispel all the rumors that are out there about and all this stigma around Black women and single moms of Black, you know, Black women, that you just go out and let your kids just do whatever and do whatever, and you know,
Mm.
and you're not out there taking responsibility or whatever, and it's all crap. You
Yeah.
guys have some of the strongest maternal instincts, seriously. I mean,
Hmm.
it's like, because it's not just you, like you said, you've got your mom, your grandma, you know, you've got aunts, and everybody takes that role and responsibility
Yeah,
to
they
help
did.
raise these kids.
Yeah, respectfully.
And I think that that is absolutely so needed. And it speaks to your
Yeah.
culture that's
Yeah.
different from ours, because you don't see that in our culture as much, where
Mm-mm.
you have the matriarchs of the family units, which is moms, grandmas, aunts, all helping out
Mhm.
when a woman gets pregnant, and what, no matter what the situation is, they step up to help out.
Exactly. They
And you
do.
had that.
I had that. Of course. All the way around.
And
My
so,
dad, at the time, like he was in prison doing federal time, you know, so he was not there around. Like their grandpa was not around them. None of them, you know, he wasn't around none of them. He might have came around when probably Pedro came, but they're little. So he came here in Missouri to my house, and I'm young. I'm hot headed. Okay, my dad came into a nasty house. Oh my God, what's going on? I'm young. That you're gonna stay in here. You're gonna be here. And he did. He toughed it out. He was right there in that house with me and my children, right here in Jefferson City. But I was a young mom. Like, come on. And he never was around me. And he coming around me with all kids. Like my dad came around me before, like when the girls were young and stuff. So I did the best. Like I was the best of the best, and I know I was.
and I
So.
think that that's to me, that it just speaks to really who you are and what you went through as a mom.
Hmm.
And I want to dispel the rumors, you know, that are out there, because I've always absolutely said, you know, you guys have it all wrong about Galen, and I hate it when people try to
Of
throw
course,
you under the bus. I will champion you and your girls at forever, because
I appreciate
that
you.
has absolutely nothing to do with any of this. And I'm glad that a year ago in May, Doug Carter finally came out and said, look, Gaylin isn't a suspect in this case. She
He
didn't
knew I
have
would.
anything to do with this. And we can put it to bed tonight. We can just say, you know, look, this mom did everything in her power to save her babies
I
that
sure
night.
did.
And thank God. And I mean this truly, and I know you've probably thought different about this over the years, just because I know a little bit about you. Um, thank God you did make it, because I'm glad you're here.
I
I
appreciate you.
know that it's hard for you to be without them,
Of
and I
course.
get that. And
Yeah.
I totally and absolutely understand that. But you have a
Mhm.
purpose, and I believe that your voice and what you're going to say and what you're going to do from here on out with your life about your girls and their life and what you went through
Of course.
is going to help others.
Of course. I want it to help others. It needs to help others because I don't know. I don't know nothing around it. Like I have my days. Like I miss my kids. Like
Of course you do.
every
You're going to
minute that I
always.
breathe. Yeah. And
You
so
live
I
and
just
breathe them. Just like,
yeah.
you know, it's like I try to tell people, for us, you know, for people who have lost children, you and I, and there's a couple of others obviously in chat that
Yeah.
have as well. When you do that, it lives with you forever, and you learn how to incorporate it into your daily world, but it never goes away. And that
Mm-mm.
loss is all there. You're reminded of it constantly,
Of course.
every
All the time.
moment of every waking day. And for
Yep.
you, it's fourfold because you lost four.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I miss them. Like,
I know
oh
you
man.
do. I know
Like,
you do.
yeah.
And we need answers. We need to find out what the heck happened that night. We need
Yeah.
to
I
find
want.
out
Mhm.
what the heck went on, who did this, and
Why, when, like
why,
all that,
all of
like
it.
what's the intention? You got to have some type of explanation to whatever, if it was, to where, or when. Like, just don't sit out there and pretend like it was like, come on, make it make sense. As I would tell my dad every day, make it make sense. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, no,
Y'all know
exactly.
how I rocked, I rode, or whatever through the streets. Like, come on, like I just, it just make me upset because it just kind of like blow over people's head. Like I don't know. It make me mad. It make me angry.
You
It
have
really
every right
does.
to be angry. I mean, grief is grief, and you
There
go
was
through
no
these different
intentions. Yeah,
stages. Sometimes you're angry, sometimes you're sad,
of
sometimes
course.
you have every right to be angry, and you
Mhm.
revisit those different, scenarios as we traverse that that thing known as grief. But
Yeah.
I want to know what your thoughts are now. 8 years, we're getting ready to have an 8-year anniversary
Yeah.
of this horrible tragedy for you and your family. And I wanted you've probably thought back on it so many times. Do you in your mind have any idea what may have happened that night or who? Or is it still just a complete, like, I don't know who would have wanted to do this to me?
Yeah. I wouldn't have wanted. I want to know who would have wanted to do it to me. Um, I just felt like a lot. Just like everything. I felt like the house was old. Like everything goes through my mind still to this day. It's just like I'm just trying to put one and one together. I'm just trying to make it make sense, as I just said.
Mhm.
With everything, it's a blur. I don't know what happened, man. I don't know why. I don't know what was the reason for the house to catch on fire. Was it the thermostat? What is it? Because it was cold outside, I had to turn the heater on. Like, y'all, I'm not gonna say I don't know, but I just feel like it was a sense. The house was just like, I don't know.
Because
Else-
the thing that stands out, and I wish Nicholle was running late, I haven't heard from her, so I don't know what's going on, and she's not here. But Nicholle's the forensic fire medic, and so
Okay, I'm
she's
gonna
the
vouch for her.
person she's the person who just, I mean, when she looked at this, started looking at your case, and she
Mm,
started looking at some of this stuff, it was just, she was just mind blown by things
yeah,
that
of
she
course.
sees automatically that are just huge red
As she
flags.
should.
Like, why,
Yeah,
why, why,
yeah,
why, why? And my feeling is that there's definitely something wrong here that shouldn't have happened. And when we
yeah.
have this house that's appraised at what the appraised value, when it's only worth
I was in the house when
$35,000.
that. Yeah, I was in that house when it got appraised. So she knocked on my door and I was sleeping on the couch. And she walked through there. I mean, she didn't walk. She and knocked on the door. I opened it, and she was just like, "I'm here to appraise the house." Come on, I'm a mom. I've rented these apartments. Never have I owned them. So not nobody before ever in my life that I've rented an apartment knocked on my
Hang on,
to
guys.
appraise it. Like I've never had a renter, as me being a renter, I've never had my landlords have someone else come to my house to knock on my door to have it appraised.
And
If
not
you're
tell you that they were coming.
right and not tell me that I was coming, no one informed me. Josh Ayers, Troy Heldman, no one told me, hey, we have Barbara coming to the door on Monday to appraise the house. No communications. I was laying on the bed because coincidentally I got off at 11 o'clock in the morning, so I could sleep from 11 in the morning until maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock when the girls got off the bus. That was my little nap, or however I regulated my time from 11 to 3. No, I was never aware of and never was contacted about her to come and appraise the house. At that time, you couldn't even ask me what an appraisal was. I didn't even
So
know.
Becky Patty didn't appraise the house?
She did.
Okay,
She did.
she did.
One of the little girl's grandmothers appraised
Right.
the house.
Yeah, Becky.
Abby or Libby, one of those grandmas. I don't
Libby's
know.
grandma,
Okay.
because her and Mike are the ones who own the appraisal company.
Okay. Okay.
So I just wanted to
Yeah,
make
she
sure, because I know that's out there too, and people are,
Yeah,
jumping
Becky
all
came. She
over
did.
that too.
Mhm.
So the house is appraised, and then what, 6-7 weeks later is when all this goes down. So it's a huge red flag.
Mhm.
There, uh, what's his name? Your interview with, is it Dakari? He
Uh-huh.
said he spoke to a Purdue University economist, basically talking about this appraisal and the insurance amount that was taken out on the house. And should that be something, what does that mean, or what does that say? And I'm like, to just the average person, you don't have to be an economist, and you don't have to be somebody in the field to know that it looks like fraud. Why would you value a house at $35,000? That's what it's appraised for, but you're insuring it for over $300,000. I mean, that's insane, right?
Yeah, I thought it was like $1 million.
Well, I was
That
just
was
going to say, I
it
think
was
it was
mainly like $2
eventually,
million.
but yeah, I was just going to say that's unheard of.
Mhm. And again, I'm young. I got 4 kids. Y'all really thought I was gonna sit there and think about all this right here? No, I don't. No, why would I? I have 4 lives that I'm taking care of right now.
Right.
This ain't my home. I ain't buying it. I'm not buying it. I don't know what's going on. All I know is I'm
Oh
giving
no,
a
I'm
man
not saying, yeah, I'm not
500.
saying that you
Yeah.
should have at
No,
the
I
time said,
understand.
"Oh my God, that's crazy." But I'm
Yeah.
thinking, when we're looking back on this, those are some huge, huge red
Crooked
flags.
ass shit that happened. You're
Oh
right.
yeah, for absolutely, absolutely.
Exactly. And then of course things that didn't have nothing to do with me, because technically that weekend me and my babies weren't even there. Like, we left Friday and we came back at 12 o'clock Sunday night, a day before the house caught on fire. We was at that home Sunday at 12 from South Bend because they had cheerleading practice. And of course, we got in and Jackie let us take the car. As y'all can see, that was in front of the house. My auntie let me take her car home. I pulled up to that home. They went in there. They went to sleep. I even went to Marathon and I opened up Sunday morning. I worked from 3:30 to 11. The girls were in that house by themselves from 3:30 in the morning to 11. I think Keyana called me like, "Oh, they hungry?" I'm like, "Girl, now you know it's Sunday. Mommy finna pack up all this food. Boom, I'm bringing home at 11 o'clock." And so I have like I told them before I even stopped home, like, "Mommy gotta go get makeup clean remover." My kids woke up Sunday morning with makeup still on their face from the night before. So I had to get off that morning at 11 o'clock to go to the Dollar General, take off their makeup. Like, I've never wore makeup. I didn't even know what to go into Dollar General to get as far as makeup remover.
Uh-huh.
I think somebody, a lady, a elderly lady that I always see. I really, really got along with elderly people because young people were too high headed for me, and we're the two age. I don't. At the time, I'm young and you're young. I didn't want to fool with you because how you gonna teach me something that I don't know? You young, I'm young. We ain't gonna get nowhere.
Right.
So I really kind of reached out to like older people. And so I met a lady that would come into Marathon, and we were coincidentally we were down the aisle, and she pointed out, "Well, get this right here. Put this on their face. Just gonna remove this." I had somebody in Dollar General help me right then and there to get makeup remover.
Well, that was good.
It's Yep. Went back to the house, took off makeup. I had to get Keyana ready for her basketball game because she was a traveling basketball player
Right.
at the time. Make a long story short, that night I saw Josh Ayers. He was
At
there
the
with his
game.
daughter.
He was
Yeah,
at the game,
he,
right?
he
Did he
was
talk to
there
you?
at. No, me and Josh Ayers never talked to each other. I never spoke to him. I mean, probably Troy Holderman and Josh Ayers would come in there, nod and keep on going. That was professionally because I was on the clock. But if I was off the clock, no. They were arrogant and fucking rude and mean and nasty, especially Troy Holderman. Josh Ayers played a persona. He played a role when it came to his little attitude and shit. You know, he played nonchalant. That's how Josh Ayers would play it. It was like he had to put up with me, but he didn't have to deal with me. So I felt with Josh Ayers. Troy Helderman, His head was too big. For real. His head, literally right now, his head is just too big for his body. And he feels like he is just on top of the world. Sometimes both of them feel like that. But see, now I'm 36. They dealt with me in my 20s. So
Right.
I've read them throughout years and years, and I already knew it. At that time, I'm young, I'm vulnerable. I needed their property. Hey, I got 4 girls that I need to put in y'all house. Cool. I'm young. But see now, they don't get no respect for me. I don't give a fuck if they listening, hearing me. I don't give a fuck if they record me, see me. I don't give a fuck. I'm grown and I could really read y'all. Now, I'm grown now. I done kind of mature. Grew a little hair, a little bit more womanly than I was before. Got a little more hip, yeah. Racist as fuck. They were the same 2 men to stand out in front of my fucking house, burned down, standing there, just side by side, like
Watching it.
Mario and Luigi.
Just
Hmm.
watching it.
Yeah, like Mario and Luigi. Got
Galen,
hairs. You are fucking Mario, and Troy held him and you Luigi because you just a little bit bigger. That's how we categorize them. Period. I don't give a fuck.
Galen,
Yeah.
that night when you got out of the house and you're outside, do you remember any of that at all? Or is
Mm,
that just something that you've blotted out of your head?
I'm,
And
I'm not gonna.
I
Yeah.
understand if you have.
I'm not gonna block. I don't block not now memory that I have from there. I ran outside, literally went to next doors, tried to get help. My house is on fire, y'all. Come on. This is something that I've never in my life in a million fucking years never expected to be happening.
So you
Things
ran
move
outside
fast.
and went next door?
Sure did. Ran right outside when I couldn't get to my kids. I ran right next door to try to get help because that fucking house was burning excessively fast and moving too fucking quickly for me.
Right.
And I literally, yeah, I like, okay, if I can't do shit, I need help. Point blank, period. I don't know what else to say or do. I don't know what else to like explain to y'all. I don't know how to put it in perspective. I fucking needed help. I'm by myself. So literally, I literally went to go try to meet the girls. The fucking stairs got too hot for me. The house got too hot for me. So I ran out of that mug and went straight next door. And then went right back in there to try to, hey, they're this way. But shit happened so fast. And it happened. I was screaming, hollering for help. Help came. Literally got put back in the ambulance. They told me that my girls was gone and I got sedated. That's how that went. They sedated me. For real. Because all I can remember is Aunt Jackie standing there, the ambulance man standing here. Somebody came in there, said my girls was gone, and I blacked out. I don't remember nothing else after that. And all I can remember is that my grandmother, as she rests in peace right now, she said that she was kind of like the first person to come into the burn unit. And my gown originally was pink and it was burnt. She said I looked burnt to her. That's what my grandmother said. From the head to the toe, I looked burnt to her. I was black. Eyes, ear, everything. I was like charcoal to her. And
It
I
was
had to look
like
down. I had to
you
realize like my gown was pink. It wasn't black.
right.
It was pink.
But that's how thick that smoke was.
Yeah.
And you can see that,
Hmm.
when you watch the dash cam video. My
Hmm.
god, it's just
In my
unbelievably how
eyes.
hot it was.
Even, yeah. It was so hot to where some went wrong with my eyes to the point where I couldn't see y'all. And so it was like when I really, really woke up, I could keep my eyes open for 10 seconds. And then my eyes was like automatically closed. They had to give me artificial tears because I couldn't cry. Wasn't nothing coming out. My eyes was burnt. Literally. My
Right,
eyes were burnt.
your
Yeah,
corneas
my
were burnt.
nose, my hair, everything from here on down was burnt. My mouth, all this was burnt. Yeah, it was burnt. For real. They had to helicopter me away from there because they couldn't put me in an ambulance, just drive me up the street. They helicoptered me away from that house. Yeah, all the way to Indy.
How
Hmm.
long were you in the burn unit?
I think like 4 or 5 days. And even because like I was in the burn unit, you just couldn't come in there and walk in there. You had to like dress from head to toe.
Right.
You couldn't come in there with your regular clothes on. You had to come in there like burn unit type situation.
Because of infection,
Hmm.
they really have to
Yeah.
protect you.
Mm.
Um, just an awful thing. When you were outside, my biggest question, I guess, to you is if you do remember everything, and it sounds like you
Mm.
do for the most
Yeah.
part, who was all standing around, do you believe, that watched the house burn?
Um, I think like so the neighbor, she like everybody started coming out the woodworks. So I don't know them people who was like standing out there, but it was just like different people from different neighbors and stuff like there. You know, if your house catch on fire, everybody within 5 feet or mile radius is gonna come and see what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
So that's how
exactly.
I felt. It's like everybody started coming to the house, like coming out like this house is on fire. Like so I just that's how I felt. Just got everybody's attention. And they literally came outside to be like, whoa, what the hell? What the heck is going on? You went to sleep at 10 o'clock in Flora. Come on now.
Yeah, I was just going to say everybody goes to
Yeah.
sleep.
All
Um,
the
you know, it's really strange. I want to know what you think about the 911 call being suppressed. And what do you feel is the reason, or do you have any idea in your mind why they would do that? Why would they
to
fight
get
so hard?
attention.
Why would they fight so hard? What do you
To
think's on
try
that
to
call?
of course, just to see what went wrong or whatever is negative or how they can catch somebody's mistake or something like that. You know, I felt like they was a lot of people could use it against me or something for their own attention. That's how I feel like you can put a 911 call out but can't find the real reason of how a house burned down. Like let's make it make sense.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You guys wanted to use that for your own story and then hear it, switch it around, and then put a perspective or your own scenario into that 911 call when you don't know what the hell is going on. Out of all of this whole story, it messes me up because everybody only worried about a 911 call, and I sit here with them even when I had lawyers and all that stuff like that 911 call, like what we're not supposed to hit 911. Um, ain't that what you're supposed to do when you are in an emergency and you are in help you need? You hit 911. So for you to try to use my story and a 911 call against me, how or whatever, that's just I guess I'm just new into this situation and I don't have no understanding to it. But what you can't do is justify a 911 call to my life or my children's life. That's what pisses me off as a mom. You try to dictate a call from a real life situation. Why would you do that? How could you do that? How could you live with yourself like that? Period. How could you use a 911 call to make yourself look good because you feel like, oh, I slipped up and said Alaska because I didn't say Montana. Like what? I was in a real life situation. So
Right.
how dare you use a 911 call against how I fucking live my life in real life? That's stupid. And that's nasty and childish and just everything that you want to come by. That just doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense to anybody. It's in
Yeah.
fact, it's unheard of because 911 calls are public domain, and we are entitled to them as the public, and you
Yeah.
very rarely ever get them suppressed, which is why
Exactly.
it's crazy to stop and think that you've got little Carroll County that's dealing with Abby and Libby, and they're dealing with your four girls. We've
And
got
worried
these
about a
two
911 call.
cases, but we can spend $60,000 and go to the Supreme Court to keep that 911 call from coming to
Mm,
the public. Somebody
exactly.
knows something out there.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah.
I'm hoping beyond hope that they will step up and talk, and somebody will finally say something to
Yeah.
break this wide open because somebody does know.
Exactly. And if you can hold a like you don't see on TV or anywhere, I don't know if it's in real life. You don't hear about, oh well, we secluded a 911 call because a police ran into that person's house and knocked their head off or shot at them. Like you don't see no one else's real true life story being held accountable for a 911 call. So obviously, I must have said something, did something, or something didn't go right with that. Like, for you to try to hold a 911 call against me, that don't make sense. Because at this point, like back then, I was just like, okay, I want to hear a 911 call. It was to the point where now, like, I couldn't even, as their own mom, I've never even heard a 911 call. So you're right. Y'all hiding something. Somebody doing something to where
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah, it's all so bizarre and so weird. And I just want you to know, and I told you this already, but you have an army behind you. I hope
I
you
feel you.
know
I
that.
appreciate y'all. I
I hope
appreciate it.
you know that.
I
I mean,
know it,
it's
girl.
Galen's army, and we might be small at this time, but we're mighty as hell, and we're not
Exactly.
going to let
Hey,
up. We're not.
period. Y'all don't stop the fight. We're
We
gonna
are
keep
not
fighting
going to
now.
stop fighting for those girls. And
I appreciate it.
their little faces and those smiles and those
Period.
stories that you shared with everyone here,
Yeah.
that's what this case is about. They're about real people. You're a
Mm-hmm.
real person
Exactly.
who lives this every single day. This is not entertainment. This is not, I mean, if you could be doing something else
Yeah.
and dealing with something else in your life other than the death of 4 of your children, you would be
Exactly.
doing it.
I would. I would. And it's just when I even moved back here in Missouri a couple years, like when Keyana was supposed to graduate, I seen a lot of her friends graduate. Like here in Jefferson City, she has a lot of friends who walked across that stage when she was supposed to. And it just makes me emotional because I mean, I know where I was supposed to be. I know where she was supposed to be. So I have to make the best of it for her. I got to keep being strong for my kids. And that's it. That's it. That's all. But it get really emotional because I know y'all know she was what she was capable of doing. And my baby would have been in college right now because I would have been like, I don't care. Get off my couch. You ain't going to be in the Get out that room. We wouldn't be in this apartment. Of course, y'all know I would have been in a house. They all would have had rooms, but I'm telling y'all, them rooms would have been my closets for my shoes and my heels and stuff. Cause I'd have been like, boo boo, bye, see y'all later. Yeah, I would have. They all would have been in college. I would have all paid for everybody to go where they need to go and be. They might not have been thousand miles away from me because I ain't wouldn't have been able to handle that. But yeah,
It's hard to see the milestones and know what
yeah.
you're missing out on.
Oh
And,
yeah. It's
just like you
hurtful.
said earlier, it's so heartbreaking to know that, you don't get to experience being a grandmother. You don't get to
Right.
experience their wedding. You don't get to experience,
Nothing.
their birth of their first child.
Of course.
All the things, graduating from high school, graduating from
Of course.
college.
Of course.
Um, and then seeing what they make of themselves, because again,
Of course.
when I look at these girls and I look at you, I know that these girls were going places.
Hmm.
They were
Yeah,
these
I wouldn't
girls
allow them not to.
had a lot going for them, and they had a mother that was strong. Even though she was young, she was
Yeah.
strong. And
Hmm.
you're not perfect, and
Nope. I wasn't
that
at by far.
and that doesn't make you a bad mom. um
Nope.
None of us are perfect, and we all make
Mm-mm.
mistakes,
Of course. You all
and
have to
stuff.
start somewhere.
But if we learn from those mistakes, and
Yep.
we try to teach our kids about those mistakes and say, hey, you don't
Exactly.
want to do what mom did, or you don't want to do
Nope.
this, you want to do this, just like
Nope.
you
Or
explained to
mama
them.
or mama would expect something different. Mama didn't do what I'm doing right now. My mama didn't do this. My mama didn't walk across that stage. Or my mama. That's literally how they would have been. No disrespect to their fathers or nothing, but I have more reputation. I have more attention in their life for me to be more recognized than their own daddies and grandmas. Like that's how I had it, and that's how it was gonna be. Like they would have been like, yeah, my mama didn't do that. Yeah, well, I know. And that's why I'm gonna go do it, or I'm not gonna do what my mama did, or yeah, they would have been totally different. They knew it, especially Keyana. She would have been like, yeah, I ain't going home. Mm-mm. And then first thing like, well, what kind of why wouldn't you want to go home? They're like, cause you know my mom gonna snap out on me. You right. Go ahead, walk through that door. Mom, that's what
Well,
she would be like, Mom. I want to go visit my grandma and I want to go visit my dad in Kansas City. But I'm gonna be right back. I ain't gonna go far. I'm gonna come right back home, and I'll just be looking at her like, "You, I know you is. 'Cause I'm gonna come get you if you don't."
Well, I know you've been through a lot, an absolute lot, not just the loss of the girls, but all the stuff that's happened since and all the things
Yeah,
that are said and all the stuff that has been done and the crap. It's hard for you to trust people. And I totally understand that. And I feel I feel so blessed that you were willing to come on my show after
yeah,
all these years
appreciate it.
to finally get to meet you face to face. I've
Yeah,
watched
I've been
every
probably wanting to come on the show,
I have
but it
I
is.
have watched you in all of your interviews, and I've felt for you, and when your tears flow, my tears flow. It reminds me of
Appreciate it.
my own loss of what I've gone through, but it's not the same. Our losses aren't, but at the same time, I do feel a kinship to you because of that, and
Period.
these girls and you deserve justice. And
Period.
that's the
Yeah, of
bottom
course.
line. That is the
We ain't
bottom
gonna stop.
line. And
Yep.
we do love you.
I love y'all more
This
too.
this whole
Appreciate it.
community that is, Coach Kev, Ruckus Rocks, these are some of the creators that I work closely with that
I'm gonna be on that show too. Like for real, y'all. Like
I was just going to say that absolutely love Flora. They
yeah.
love
I think
this
Coach Kev is the next
case.
person I gotta go. So I think the next person is Coach Kev. I think
Yeah, I
Coach
was just
Kev
going to
is on
say
my list. The next interview I'm about to do with Coach
Kev's
Kev.
amazing, and
Yeah.
I met him in April and face to face, and he's such a tall guy. I mean, he's super
You
tall,
call?
but he's a super nice, down to earth person, and he's a fireman who cares
Yeah, I'm going
deeply.
on his. I'm gonna go on his show next because I think that's the next person that I have in my inbox, and he's like, "You tell me a date," and I'm like, "Nah, Coach Kev, you gonna tell me your date, and I'm gonna come to your show."
There you
So,
go. There you
yeah,
go.
Coach is the next person that I think I'm about to go on live with, and
They
then I'll, yeah,
they care, and I just want you to know that you're safe with us.
I
Nobody's
appreciate y'all so
here to
much.
take advantage of you. Nobody's here we don't have agendas. We don't have anything like that. We're here for you.
I appreciate y'all. I
Okay. And I
appreciate it.
want you
I
to know
appreciate it.
that from the bottom of my
Of
heart.
course, of course, of
Um,
course.
and I'm so glad that you're here and that you decided to come on and show your beautiful face and show
I'm
that
glad I'm
beautiful
here for y'all.
smile. Because you know what? When I see you smile, I see your girls.
Oh God, yeah. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, they look
Oh
like you,"
my
and I'm
God,
like,
I see your girls.
Some of them look like me, some look like their dad, but I
I'm just
mean,
saying that smile, I just see your girls. And it's just
yeah, they were
there's
happy. My babies
there's
was happy all the time. They didn't. I could not. I think even with the oldest, Keyana like broke up with this little boy. She was 9, y'all. She broke up with her first boyfriend at 9, and she was like, I was like, "You okay?" I panicked. She was like, "Mom, calm down." Ugh. That's what I was like, "Okay." Well, what happened? We broke up. I'm moving on. He's moving on. And I'm like, "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I beat up his sister already." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I guess, her beating up the sister, it was like a more angry off, she cool and everything. But after a little dealing with that, I ain't have to deal with nothing. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna let them go ahead, come to me, cry on my shoulder. Cause at that time, Keyana was like, "Mom, I need you to get away from me because I'm a little angry." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Keyana was my oldest was like, "Oh my God." I would be like, "Girl, y'all see how this shirt is, how she came home. She did not come
I
home looking
love
like
that
this."
story. I do though. I love that
Girl,
story
y'all,
because
I did her hair.
she was coming into her own. And I think she looks beautiful there, Mom. I know you think she looks ratty, but she doesn't. She's
She
beautiful.
looked like she came through that door and I was just like, "I know you lying." She's like, "What? I got hot." No, how does a bobo make your head hot? And I was like, "How did a beret and you was looking like your sister and look how they looking?" And I was like, "Oh no, you are tripping. You look like a werewolf." Oh, I was mad she came home looking like this. I'm not gonna on a picture day. Girl, I was just like, "Girl, you just wake up." I was mad because everybody else was cool. And then when she hit the door, I was just like, "I did not send you to school like that. Embarrassing."
Happy birthday, Aspen, and happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday.
Jinx. Happy
Period.
birthday to Jinx. It's Jinxie's birthday too.
How dare you keep your birthday away from me? I am mad. I'm gonna call you later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, today's her birthday. I told her, I said, I can't believe you're spending your birthday with me. I love it. But
I just on the phone with her all day yesterday or the day before, and she didn't say nothing.
yeah,
Man,
today's her birthday. So everybody wish Jinx a birthday or happy
Jinx,
birthday
happy
too.
birthday. I'm
Miss
gonna do
Persevere says
more.
when she sees you smile, she sees that video of you and the girls dancing for Halloween. Galen teaching them how to do the butterfly and the cha-cha slide.
I sure did. They had to get in groove, okay, with me. And I was a pumpkin too. I was like that big old pumpkin trying to teach them. They was like, Mom, for real? Yeah, come on. Get over
See,
here. I'm about to teach y'all.
I love Halloween because Halloween's my birthday.
Oh man. Yeah, that was one of their favorite holidays, y'all.
I
Halloween. And I
love
was
that
like,
holiday. Absolutely.
oh God, that was one of their favorite.
Absolutely. Well, my
Yeah.
dear, I've had you on here for 2 hours, so I think I
Appreciate
should
you.
let you go so that you
Okay.
can get some sleep. But
Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with my girls. I ain't gonna lie.
I was
My
just gonna
girls is waiting
say,
for me.
I am so, so glad that you made the
Of
time
course.
to come.
Of course.
And you
Yeah.
are welcome here
And
anytime.
girl,
And
send
we
me an
will
invite and I'll come up.
I'll definitely have you on again. We'll talk
Of
again.
course.
But
Of course.
yeah, your voice, anytime you got something you want to say that's important, you just let me know. And
I will.
you've
I
got my
got you.
platform, babe.
Yep, and we communicate offline all the time. I
There
got you,
you
girl.
go.
I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
We love
And
you.
I thank y'all for everything.
You're very welcome. And
All right, I'll see y'all soon.
yep, see you soon, my dear.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
There you go, guys. The real Gaylin Rose. No airs, not putting up a show, just talking to Galen, listening to her talk about her girls. So anybody that's out there that's still hanging on the fence that thinks that this mom didn't love those babies, they just need to go find something else to do because this woman lived for her girls. And she was an amazing mom. You're absolutely right, Mother of Dragons. Amazing. And I agree. How could you not be inspired by her with everything that she's gone through and still continues to go through? You know? Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. She is a beautiful lady in every way. And I always knew that deep down. I just always knew that about her. Because I've known some of that pain, and it's like, you get it's hard sometimes when you look at some of her um interviews and stuff over the years, and and she's crying and she's so emotional. It's so hard to wrap around what you want to say, and I love listening to her now be able to talk about the girls without completely breaking down, and see her smile and know that it's okay to share those memories with us. And it's a very special thing for her to be able to do. And I will tell you, I've told you that before, one of the biggest things that parents who've lost children fear is that people will forget their kids. People other than those of us who loved them dearly will forget them, and especially when they're so young, because they hadn't left their mark yet on society. They hadn't left their huge mark, indelible mark on society as a whole. They absolutely did on those in their little bubble of world. And that includes the people at their school, um, and all of that. I'm sorry that Nicholle didn't make it on the show tonight, guys, but she had something come up and go on that she was just not able to get out of. And I know she's a busy, busy woman, so I totally and absolutely understand. But I will have her on again with Galen so that we can talk again with Nicholle, because I know Nicholle's got a ton of questions and would like to hear some of the stuff that Galen has to say as well. But yeah, I just appreciate those of you that came tonight to meet Galen and to listen to her. She has been horribly taken advantage of for quite a few years by content creators and by people. And that's not going to happen anymore. We've got her back, and we've given her a safe haven, a place where she can come and be herself and share her story and share her story. And yes, Aspen, she is a part of a club that no one ever deserves to join. But it is yet another example of how much strength and courage these strong women find within themselves and exude. And, you know, I've often said, I'm not a special person because of what I went through. I don't know why I was chosen to lose a child. I don't know why. The why will never be answered probably well enough for me. But what I can tell you is this, that you have to find a way to survive it. You only have two choices. Either you survive it or you don't. And for me, I had another living child, so I had to survive it. For Galen, she didn't. And Galen didn't have to survive it, just like I told her tonight. And I'm glad she did. I'm glad that she's come through this as well as she has, because, you know, the people that can turn to alcohol and to drugs and to other things, or that just succumb and take their own lives because they can't live with the pain, that's real. And those people are hurting so bad, you can't judge them. But she's living for her girls now, because her girls want to see her happy, and they want to see her succeed in life and find some little bit of happiness. That's what the girls want for their mother. And we want justice for them. So for all of you out there listening and who watch this on the replay, please share and talk about Flora on your own platforms. If you have YouTube channels, Reddit subs, whatever, talk about the Flora case. Dive into it. Figure out what's out there. Let's talk about Flora. Let's absolutely push Flora. We have Delphi pretty much where Delphi is going to be, guys. I was going to say that at the end of the show, but for those of you that are following Delphi, you obviously know that the defense is doing exactly what Frank Meister and I said they were going to do. They've derailed the case again because they are going to the Supreme Court. That puts the brakes on anything that Fran Gull could do. So there will be no motion. She won't be deciding on any motions or anything until this is all resolved again through the Supreme Court. And quite honestly, I don't look for a trial this year at all in the Delphi case. So if we're not going to be talking that much about Delphi, we need to be talking about Flora, because these girls need justice. We're getting ready for their 8th anniversary in November of their fire deaths, and it is time that we put pressure on law enforcement and tell them enough is enough. We need this case solved. What's going on? And people know. Somebody in that town knows what happened that night, and they need to come forward and they need to talk. And you can, just like it says on my screen, you don't have to give your name. Just contact them and speak what you know. We need to focus on this case. Good night, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed Saturday. Happy birthday, Aspen. I wish I could give you a huge hug. And happy birthday, Jinx. I love you to death. And I am so glad that you were here. Everyone who came, thank you so much for being here and keeping the chat in a very great way. We didn't have trolls tonight, and I absolutely am happy and stoked about that. So thank you again. And I will talk to you guys all later. Good night, everybody.